Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, strap in. Hump day for your ear hole has begun.
You know what time it is.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Live from the Say What studios of Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. It's Say What Radio.
Hump day for your hole.
Say what?
With your hosts, JustN,
Don't judge me.
Taz,
What the hell, and why?
and the other guys.
I'm going to just start with this one and just baseball coach is suspended after he forced his players. Okay, you know what? I'm just cut it right there. Okay, this is a review. This is JustN hanging with you guys. This is going to basically be a really quick show. It is going to be a review over the new Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice movie. I had the pleasure of seeing this movie last night in an advanced screening. I just had to get this out, say this. I saw it with everyone on the show. Well, actually, not Taz, unfortunately. It was Dre D, Marco, Dre T, and McCoy. We actually all got to see this movie yesterday evening. And being that this is a movie that has been waited on for eons to come to the movie screens. Of course, it's been in the comic book world many times, but the two icons of Batman and Superman coming together and fighting against each other for different reasons in the comic book is something that people have wanted to see for years, as I said. This movie does this concept so much disjustice, it's not even funny. I was a huge fan of Zack Snyder when he did 300 and just completely loved it. And I don't know, maybe it was because he was trying to incorporate a lot of the stuff from there into this particular movie. It just wasn't done right. There was no clear motive for things, for the villain, for the actual fights. The progression was bad. Things were thrown together. It was so overstuffed with things. You could tell that it was just not something that was really thought out. It was just bad. The placement was off. There were cutscenes and weird music that drummed. It just seemed like some sort of TV show that had been drawn out and put together, then cut, then pieced back together in some way or shape or form. And they were just like, okay, this is what we're going to give the people. It was just terrible. When things would actually come to fruition, like people are figuring out, oh, this is what happened. There was actually drum rolls and shit. I couldn't understand what was supposed to be happening half the time. And I was not the biggest fan of Ben Affleck being cast as Batman. And I stand by that. It just didn't work for me. I don't know if it... Truthfully, had it been a better script, maybe it would have been better. Or it just fell flat for me. A lot of times it just came off... I mean, there was one piece of dialogue from here in that movie. He goes, I learned from my parents, if the world doesn't make sense, force it. What the fuck? That is the defense of date rapist. What the hell was that supposed to mean to somebody in the middle of a fight? This shit was just stupid. The biggest thing of the character of Batman was supposed to, which was confident and smart. A lot of times it just felt like he was just fumbling around figuring out shit after everybody else, which Batman is supposed to be one of the greatest detectives and smartest people in the world, according to the comic book. That didn't play off here. Then again, Henry Cavill's character, Superman, didn't always come off as the brightest person. He kind of looked like he was not, and which is okay because the man is an alien, so I get that. But half the time he was looking like he was going, huh? The fuck? It just fell flat across the face. It just didn't work. And if I start in on the Wonder Woman's character, Gal Gadot, oh god, oh man. Okay, when The Force Awakens came out, the female lead, Rey, in the movie was given a lot of flack for her body type because she was more athletic, and people were saying that she had unrealistic body type. That's bullshit, but that's another review. Another rant, if you will. This was the time to be unrealistic. This was the time you had free range, complete licensure to actually go for it and make this character, but they didn't do that. This woman looks like some hot girl who was just on her way to a frat costume party. Doesn't look like Wonder Woman. Didn't come off as Wonder Woman. They were more focused on her being hot than her actually being Wonder Woman. Nothing came off as her being smart, strong, It was unnecessary sexy. You were more focused on, the attire that she wore, which was I'm not going to lie, some badass dresses. But you weren't focused on her being this woman who was over 100 years old in there. And once they did actually reveal that, the fucking drum rolls and shit, I thought I was at a goddamn college football game halftime or some shit. I began reading comics as a child. I did it alone and in secret, honestly, because of Catwoman. I remember seeing the old Batman shows and thinking like, that is such a graceful, classy, sexy, strong, smart lady. I wanted to be like that because I was always told that I was a tomboy. I was boyish. Don't do this, don't do that because it's not ladylike. And I didn't necessarily know how to do that. And I thought that, reading about this Catwoman character or whatever would help me. Yeah. Don't ask me. But when I started reading comic books and reading up on Catwoman and things like that, I started learning about other female comic book characters, which I didn't even really know about before then. And I'd seen Wonder Woman before, but I really didn't feel like I could connect with her because the only one that actually I'd seen previously to this was Linda Carter. I hadn't seen or read anything about her prior to that. And once I found the Wonder Woman character, I was like, that's me. Not focusing on that she is a Caucasian woman or whatever. I can't really remember what they have her as nationality. I think she's Greek. So I guess she would be Greek. I just focus on this is a woman who is muscular. She not necessarily muscular, but she's toned. She's got muscle. She's bigger than most women out there. She's strong, but she's still beautiful, smart, sexy, and she's still considered to be feminine. That's what I was like, okay, so it is possible for me because I am a bigger woman. I do have muscles, but I am still feminine. I didn't feel like that with any of the women that I watched on TV. None of them reflected me, even the women of color. They never reflected me. So to sit there on the screen, watching the screen of this woman who basically looks like a Victoria's Secret model in costume was a slap in the face to all of these comic book readers who have been wanting this to come to fruition for so long. They took time, effort, and a shit ton of money to make Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and any of the men characters to become the ones from the comic book. But for the women, it's not ladylike, it's not cute, it's not beautiful to be toned, to have, a little bit more muscle, to be an actual comic book character, to reflect what is on the pages. That isn't ladylike. It's not beautiful. So we're not going to put that out there. We're just going to put a hot girl out there. She looks like her in the face. Dead ringer for her in the face. But this woman does not define what this particular icon is supposed to be. And that's what this was supposed to be, an icon. You take the time to do all of that, but you won't for the men, but you won't do that for the women. If that was the case, Megan Fox could have done this. Olivia Munn could have done this. Jessica Biel could have done this. Just dye her hair. Could have done it. Give her context. Hell, Brienne of Tar from Game of Thrones could have done this. Darken her hair. That would have been a perfect one. She's not, you got the height, you got a little bit of the weight, and she's still very feminine. Beautiful woman. But, we got to go for the hot factor. Well, I understand why they did that now because the movie's so terrible. You had to have something else to focus on other than this bullshit ass movie. It was just bad. It was just bad. Like I said, I've been waiting for so long for this to actually come out and see it on the screen because I wanted to see me. Wonder Woman is what, you aspire to. She's what a lot of women who are in like, even a lot of fitness models could have done this. And she didn't talk very much in the movie to begin with. And the fucking Romanian accent or whatever that she had was another thing. So it wouldn't necessarily matter if she looked physically completely the part and didn't say anything. That probably actually would have been worked a little bit better. The whole premise, basically it just boils down to if you learn how to do CrossFit and you have a piece of kryptonite, you can beat Superman. Seriously. Considering that Superman was an alien, for him to continue to be hyped up as this great, wonderful character in Jesus, do you think he would necessarily understand or even care about that? Yeah, being beloved by people is one thing, but considering that this man has basically just grown up in the middle of Kansas, I don't really think he gives a shit. I didn't understand that, but they were trying their best to pump up this story to... The thing is he didn't even see it that way, but you had Batman and Lex Luthor mad or jealous? Huh? Is that it? Also, Batman is supposed to be like the greatest detective ever. But he couldn't figure out the plan of a crazed dude with daddy issues? Seriously? But Lois Lane can speak sense to him? But an unkillable alien can't catch his attention enough to say anything that makes sense to him? Okay. Also, Lex Luthor can figure out Superman's alter ego and complete other life. But again, Batman, who's supposed to be the greatest detective ever, or one of the greatest detectives, can't. And I remember when Age of Ultron came out, Avengers, people groaned about Hulk and Black Widow. They were like, oh, they made it all about feelings and all this. So Superman being this whipped over Lois Lane is okay. He's going to save her ass every 5 seconds. Nobody had to save Black Widow ass. Black Widow was basically doing all of the saving. Calm your ass down, Hulk. Bring it down a notch. Woosah. But, Superman having to save Lois Lane ass all the time is okay. And you are my world. Oh, whatever. God damn it. This is not goddamn why the haves and not. Get the fuck out of here with that. And why the hell was everything in slow-mo? What the fuck was that? I felt like I was watching that fucked up ass Resident Evil movie where, it was supposed to be, and maybe that was why they did it, because it was in 3D. Like, everything was in slow-mo. This thing is so bad, guys. It's not even funny. Doomsday, which is supposed to be one of the biggest villains and characters up against Superman and the Justice League to begin with, looked like the shit demon from Dogma. And if you haven't seen it, just Google shit demon. That's gonna come up. He basically looked like the shit demon from Dogma who did CrossFit. It made oh man, this movie was just so poorly done and just plain bad. If you enjoyed it, I really commend you on that, because if you did, you're an optimist and we need more people like you in the world. But I'm gonna tell you like this, I'm a realist, and fuck this movie. I'm out.
I'm dying in this fucking fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. Let's get the fuck out of this country, mother. The fuck is that? Say what again?